Negative stuff that comes up, all the skeletons and all the things that you have dealt with, panic, fear, whatever.
Is he perfect? Absolutely not. But, he
No.
has a lot of the qualities. No. He has a lot of the qualities that I love.
They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
This time around, I'm trying to be a wife first. Not all the time, because it's not always possible, and sometimes I am a mother first.
Ooh, honey, it looks like the Knowles-Carter empire is starting to crack at the seams. Word on the street is Richard Lawson, Tina Knowles' ex, might finally be spilling the tea on why he really left Tina.
The negative stuff that comes up, all the skeletons and all the things that you have dealt with, panic, fear, whatever.
This isn't just some typical breakup drama. Folks are whispering about deep-rooted family chaos and wild conspiracy theories that have been hounding Jay-Z and Beyonce for years.
This person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, just all kinds of things.
So what could have driven Richard to the point of no return? Insiders say there's a dark, twisted undercurrent hiding in the Knowles family closet that just might be the real reason he walked away. Let's get into the secrets that might have sent him running for the hills.
They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
For years, the Knowles-Carter clan held the crown as the blueprint of Black excellence. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Tina Knowles, and Richard Lawson looked like a tight-knit powerhouse. But if there's one thing fame loves to hide, it's the truth. From the outside, they seemed flawless Tina, the glamorous matriarch of Beyonce herself, married to actor Richard Lawson. But honey, looks can be deceiving. Behind closed doors, that picture-perfect marriage was barely holding on. Earlier this year, Richard and Tina's split shook fans. But what really got people talking was Richard hinting at why he left the Knowles family for good. The Knowles-Carter dynasty isn't new to controversy, but Richard's exit brings a whole new layer to this mysterious empire. Now get this, 4 years back, Richard dropped a play called No Place to Be Somebody, and fans are starting to believe it was a not-so-subtle dig at the Knowles family itself. In an interview, Richard talked about his play, saying every character was out there trying to be somebody or chasing after something, whether it was redemption, love, or fame.
Every character in here is reaching for something, and no one seems to quite get there. People are looking for redemption. People are looking for love. People are looking for success and to be able to control something.
Now, tell me that doesn't scream the Knowles crew? Let's start with Queen Bey. She's the epitome of that character chasing success, breaking away from Destiny's Child to create her own empire. Sure, it catapulted her to superstardom, but some people can't help but wonder if it was also about personal glory, even if it meant leaving the group behind. And who could forget the Solange and Jay-Z elevator showdown? That explosive moment lit up rumors about some serious family drama brewing beneath the surface. Some critics say the real root of these conflicts might lie in a deep-seated need for self-preservation, where individual needs seem to come before the family's well-being. This way of thinking has folks wondering if a little too much self-centeredness is shaking up the Knowles family dynamics. And let's not forget Tina Knowles, the matriarch herself. She's been on her own journey for love and companionship, and while everyone deserves happiness, some people are side-eyeing whether her quest for fulfillment has taken the spotlight over keeping the family close. All this might have worn Richard down, watching a family that's laser-focused on their own desires. When you're seen as the outsider surrounded by a crew caught up in their own dreams, it's no surprise the exhaustion would settle in. You can't help but wonder if all this self-interest threw a wrench in his marriage with Tina, but Richard's not the only one leaving us hints. Tina's been dropping her own breadcrumbs. In that same interview where they talked about No Place to Be Somebody, Tina seemed a bit uneasy about letting Richard enjoy his moment in the spotlight. The way Tina carried herself during that interview was telling enough to have gossip enthusiasts buzzing about what might really be going on. Body language experts even clocked her demeanor, and it did not give off smitten wife. Typically, a woman who's head over heels gazes lovingly at her man, right? But Tina, not one glance toward Richard. It almost looked like she was dodging his eyes, giving off some serious, this isn't true love vibes. People started wondering if this marriage was more about boosting each other's egos than a genuine bond. And to to make it juicier, Tina's vibe gave the impression she wasn't thrilled about letting Richard have the floor. Observers noticed how she seemed to hold back, as if Richard rarely gets a moment to truly speak his mind. The contrast was loud Richard with his calm, chill energy, while Tina seemed tense, like a power struggle in motion. It was like watching two strong-willed personalities quietly battle it out right there in front of everyone. As they say, too many strong personalities can brew a storm, and it's clear Richard might just be fed up with all the drama in this family. And let's be real, it's not just about those strange vibes during that interview. The issues in the Knowles-Carter dynasty run way deeper. Just recently, Jaguar Wright threw everyone for a loop on Piers Morgan Uncensored with her bombshell claims about Beyonce and Jay-Z. And listen, Jaguar didn't just scratch the surface, she went all in, alleging that Jay-Z's been involved in some of the shadiest dealings in the entertainment world. And the kicker, Jay-Z's been stone cold silent amidst all these jaw-dropping accusations. When Piers asked if she felt validated after Diddy's latest legal mess, Jaguar didn't mince words. She didn't feel relief in her eyes. The accountability has barely begun. Diddy, she claims, is just the beginning.
Do you feel vindicated by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning.
A symbol of a much darker culture of exploitation that's embedded in the music industry. With 30-plus years in the game, Jaguar speaks boldly, sharing stories of industry veterans who warned her to steer clear of certain people. But even with all those warnings, nothing could have fully protected Jaguar from the trauma she endured. Decades later, she's still battling PTSD, and the worst part, she keeps hearing the same horror stories from younger women coming up in the industry.
You live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you.
That, she says, is what makes Diddy and his actions all the more dangerous. The harm just keeps cycling, cloaked in the industry's silent complicity. In her interview, Jaguar dives deep into the toxic culture she claims has thrived under powerful figures like Diddy. She's not just speaking from her own painful experience, but from the things she saw firsthand during her early days when she worked on the dark side of the industry as a dominatrix. That gave her a rare look into the twisted connections between entertainment and exploitation. Jaguar doesn't hold back, spilling disturbing details about ritualistic acts, drugging, and treating women as disposable objects. The scale of these sick practices, shielded by NDAs and hush money, has kept the truth hidden for years.
And it's all done under the protection of, this is going to be paid off. There's another NDA. This is going to be, it's terrible.
Jaguar points out how so many people knew what was happening, plenty knew, but either didn't have the courage to speak up, or when they did, were dismissed and ignored. Jaguar insists that this culture of silence has protected predators like Diddy for way too long. One of the most chilling parts of her claims, Diddy wasn't just lucky Jaguar believes he was chosen for his role. She argues he was handpicked to keep the black community under control within the entertainment industry.
People keep looking at him like he's the Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is. We got to stop making Diddies.
And she doesn't stop at Diddy. She names heavyweights like Clive Davis and Lucian Grange as key figures who helped elevate him, shielding him from the fallout of his actions. According to Jaguar, Diddy was brought in to exploit the brilliance of black culture for profit, leaving a wake of ruined lives behind him. She believes Diddy's recent silence isn't loyalty, it's fear. Those who've protected him for years still see value in keeping him quiet.
His ego and his addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not gonna talk is crazy. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it.
But Jaguar predicts his ego and drug habit will eventually push him to spill everything. And when he does, she warns it'll be disastrous for those who've been complicit. When Piers asked if Diddy would expose others, Jaguar didn't blink. She's sure he'll have no choice, taking big names down with him. To her, his silence is just a temporary shield. She's convinced that what surfaced so far is merely the tip of a horrifying iceberg. And with decades in the game, Jaguar's story is far from new, but it's one the industry's worked hard to keep hidden. She spent years calling out the very folks who are now getting dragged into the spotlight. Back in the day, Jaguar was dismissed as just another crazy conspiracy theorist, branded an extremist bitter about her time in the industry. But let's be real, much of what she said back then is finally hitting home. It's crucial to remember that Jaguar wasn't some random outsider. She was in the game, performing with Jay-Z, and she's seen things most of us only catch wind of through gossip. So when Jaguar claims that Jay-Z is the real mafia boss pulling the strings, we need to listen up. Jaguar first stirred the pot when she accused Jay-Z of being complicit in Aaliyah's tragic death. She didn't hold back, alleging that Jay-Z, Diddy, and other big names were all tangled up in a sinister plot. Back then, it was easy for people to roll their eyes at her claims. But now, with more stories surfacing, folks are starting to connect the dots. There have been whispers for years that Jay-Z had a hand in Aaliyah's death, especially since she allegedly turned down his advances. And let's not forget how tight Jay-Z was with R. Kelly, the man rumored to have manipulated Aaliyah. For a little context, the buzz about a secret marriage started swirling in 1994 when R. Kelly, the chart-topping R&B king, and Aaliyah, the rising starlet, were rumored to have tied the knot in a hush-hush ceremony. The drama only heated up due to their wild age gap. Aaliyah was just a 15-year-old ingenue, while R. Kelly was a 27-year-old musical powerhouse. They say the alleged wedding went down on August 31st, 1994, in Rosemont, Illinois, with reports claiming it all unfolded in a hotel room, wrapped in secrecy, and sealed with a fake marriage certificate. Aaliyah later got caught up in the lie, misrepresenting her age on the paperwork, claiming to be 18, while R. Kelly's age was on point. The shadiness surrounding this union was clearly fueled by the shocking legal and ethical issues of an adult artist marrying a minor. The revelation rocked the music industry and sent shockwaves far beyond it. Aaliyah, the rising star with undeniable talent, and R. Kelly, the Grammy-winning hitmaker, suddenly found themselves at the center of a scandal that would echo for years. As the rumors intensified, so did the questions. How in the world did a 15-year-old manage to get married without parental consent, and why was this huge event kept under wraps? The truth started to seep out. Aaliyah's age was misrepresented on that marriage certificate, a chilling detail that only added weight to the scandal. Aaliyah's family, initially in the dark, eventually got wind of the alleged marriage, and their fury was palpable. They weren't just mad about the secrecy, they were outraged at the thought of their teenage daughter being exploited. The family wasted no time in taking action to annul the marriage, focusing on Aaliyah's age as the crux of their argument. She lacked the legal capacity to marry without parental consent. The swift dissolution of the union left a trail of unanswered questions, not just about the legality of the marriage, but also about the power dynamics between these two artists. The fallout from this scandal had massive repercussions for both Aaliyah and R. Kelly. Aaliyah, despite her incredible talent and rising fame, got caught up in a narrative that wasn't her own. Meanwhile, R. Kelly faced ongoing scrutiny that would haunt him throughout his career, turning into a troubling chapter in his legacy that he couldn't shake off. The shadow of that alleged marriage loomed, casting a long, dark cloud over the personal and professional lives of both artists. Aaliyah kept rising in her career, hitting major milestones in music, and later trying her hand at acting. Yet, the drama from her early years continued to spark discussions, overshadowing her hard-earned accomplishments. R. Kelly, already a contentious figure known for his explicit lyrics and ongoing legal battles, found himself tangled in a web of scandals and allegations that would follow him for decades. The rumored marriage to Aaliyah became a hot-button topic in conversations about his relationships with young girls, further tarnishing his already shaky public image. In the years that followed, the details of their alleged union popped up sporadically, gaining fresh attention with the release of documentaries like Surviving R. Kelly. These exposés took a deep dive into the complex web of allegations against him, including harrowing accusations of abuse and exploitation, revealing the unsettling truths that many had tried to ignore. In fact, the docuseries recently dropped the bombshell that R. Kelly allegedly silenced Aaliyah and her family with a non-disclosure agreement after his marriage and quick annulment of the then 15-year-old singer. Now, according to Aaliyah's ex, Dame Dash, even after Jay-Z found out about Kelly exploiting Aaliyah and marrying her illegally, he refused to sever ties. Dame Dash confirmed these rumors and spilled the tea that Aaliyah had no romantic interest in Jay-Z. Every time Aaliyah hit up those industry parties, Jay-Z was always lurking around. But no matter how hard he tried, she was all about Dame Dash. Allegedly, Jay-Z even thought it would be cute to have Beyonce take Aaliyah's spot. Around this time, things turned messy as Jay-Z and Dame Dash started feuding, which all came to a head in 2001 when Aaliyah tragically lost her life in a plane crash in the Bahamas. That same year, Jay and Beyonce made their relationship public, and less than a year later, Jay-Z dropped his joint album with R. Kelly, Best of Both Worlds. Fast forward to now, with R. Kelly's crimes finally exposed, it's reported that Jay-Z's PR team has been scrambling to erase any trace of their friendship. But no matter how much they try to scrub the history, some folks still remember Jay's ties to R. Kelly, and one of those people is Jaguar Wright. Jaguar's been saying for years that Beyonce and Jay-Z were into some witchcraft, and while that seemed like a wild stretch to many, the chaotic events unfolding now have given those claims a shocking second win. Way back in 2018, Kimberly Thompson, Beyonce's former drummer, leveled some serious accusations against the singer, claiming she was dabbling in extreme witchcraft and casting magic spells.
Literally shattered everything that I've tried to build after doing that work in my life. If I always said when I was a kid, I never would want to regret anything.
Thompson alleged that Beyonce had been using spells to keep her under control, even employing mind control tactics to ensure she stayed completely tied down. Kimberly's attempt to snag a restraining order against Beyonce was a wild twist in this unfolding drama. But let's keep it real, restraining orders usually get granted only when there's solid evidence showing a credible threat or potential harm. The fact that the judge denied Thompson's motion suggests there just wasn't enough evidence to back up her claims that Beyonce posed any kind of threat. When it comes to legal actions like restraining orders, the courts require a high standard of proof, and clearly that bar wasn't met here. This ruling indicates that the allegations against Beyonce didn't hold water. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright has made it her mission to unveil the truth about Jay-Z, and this isn't the first time she's dropped jaw-dropping claims about the music mogul. In past interviews, Jaguar has gone on the record, saying that Jay-Z attacked her worse than Diddy did with Cassie.
Want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen yet. That Cass shit, that's nothing.
And we can't forget how Jaguar implicated Jay-Z in Diddy's alleged takedown of others in the industry. According to her, Jay-Z was fully aware of the shady dealings going down behind the scenes and even played puppet master to protect his own interests. In her candid conversation, Jaguar Wright didn't hold back, drawing eerie parallels between how controversial figures in the industry have been handled, particularly focusing on R. Kelly's downfall. She hinted at an alleged pattern that she believes has been orchestrated by none other than Jay-Z. When the conversation turned to who might be next on this supposed chopping block, Wright didn't mince words. She pointed straight at Sean Diddy Combs, suggesting that Jay-Z is preparing him for a major fall. Wright went on to lay out a chilling sequence of alleged manipulations by Jay-Z, referencing past associates and collaborators who have fallen from grace. According to her explosive claims, Jay-Z had set his sights on figures like Dame Dash and the late Notorious Big, insinuating that he had stolen their life and identity. These explosive accusations paint a complex picture of betrayal and power struggles within the upper echelons of the music industry.
He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash.
The most shocking claim from Jaguar Wright was her insinuation that Jay-Z's ambitions might extend even to R. Kelly, suggesting he wants to be the top dog in this tangled web of high-profile incidents. It's as if she's hinting at Jay-Z's alleged desire for dominance and control in these unfolding dramas. Despite the backlash that erupted after Jaguar's interview with Piers Morgan, one can't help but wonder if there's a kernel of truth in what she was saying. And could this be the reason Richard Lawson decided to walk away from the Knowles Carter family? We all know it's not easy to sever ties with someone you've built a life with, especially when that someone is part of one of the most powerful families in the world. But for Richard, the choice became necessary. Insiders have revealed that Richard couldn't handle the relentless pressure, the swirling rumors, and the unspoken truths that seemed to haunt the Knowles Carter household. While he's kept tight-lipped about the specifics, these recent revelations suggest that this split wasn't just about irreconcilable differences, it was about stepping away from something much darker. And that's a wrap for this video, folks. Catch you next time.